Good afternoon and welcome to this sunny Tuesday, 22nd of July 2014. My name is Parveen Smith. Welcome to Parveen Smith Celestial. Today I'd like to share with you just a very brief thought on ethics and the world that we live in. And I've been sitting contemplating today actually as I look out of the room that I'm in, very much on what we need to look at as the world and the ethics. I think the world has actually lost its ethics in many areas, maybe in the business world and also probably in the world that we live in with our friends and family situations and even small businesses. And I don't think anybody is going to come up and say, I own up to be unethical in any way, because we don't always see that happening. Instead we look for reasons. But we're looking at the world is actually losing its ethics in many areas. For example, I can probably share with you, look at the world that we live in when it comes to conflict in the world that we're living in at the moment. A lot of people are talking about this, and I thought I'd share a little bit on this with you, that we know that the society that we are looking at may contemplate us, me, you, whoever the person may be, looking at really what's happening, that we use weapons in this world, and it's not ethical most of the time. I think it just completely seems to be getting out of hand. And some of us may even say, because we all have our own points of view, remember, and some of us may even say that, how do we know what's in our medication, our drugs, that we have to take sometimes from time to time, and what's ethical and what is unethical. Human beings, even those that don't use weapons, I feel, may be using reasons to help them ways out of situations. And through reasons and discussions and topics, we can then bring in further, I think, dynamics to a situation, and people become, or show their dynamic sides as well, maybe good, maybe not so good, it just depends what the situation is. And also in our world we know that there is trouble, and what can we do to find the solutions? And I don't know what the solutions are in the world that we live in. We have so many different theories and different groups and societies that probably would like to say this is a solution to this. But again, in the world that we live in, it's really, some people find it quite difficult. But we are seeing an increase in what is ethical, or what is not ethical, should we say. And more people are standing up and voicing what they prefer to happen or not to happen. Hence, as we see, there's an increase on warfare in the world that we live in. So as I sit here and contemplate today, what is humanity actually going through? Well, a lot of humanity are innocently caught up in the warfare and destruction and conflict, and it seems really quite unfair that this is happening so innocently. As we know, people are caught up in this and are perished through this conflict. Ethical actions seem to be the answer to survival. Now, what are ethical actions? Well, one may use ethical actions to pull out of a situation, so surrender may be an ethical action, should we say, or I give up or I let go. But as we know that the world that we live in, quite an imbalance at this moment, and people who are doing spiritual work are trying to bring in as much balance as possible. So imbalanced behaviour arises really from the root chakra, because the individuals who are causing this conflict or unethical behaviour are trying to look at a way of surviving themselves, be whichever situation, emotionally even as well. So we're looking at the root chakra is out of balance and it needs balancing. It can be balanced as we look at bringing healing to ourselves. And in this point of view, I think also we can probably share that if we learn to bring balance to our bodies, minds and spirits, we will be in more harmony, and then we can see in reality what is really happening out there, rather than taking unethical, should I say, actions which can cause more harm in the world that we live in. Many people are actually feeling this at this moment in time, and probably you and I are probably saying the same sort of thing here. And I particularly feel that the more people I meet, more and more people are saying, look at the world that we live in. So I'm going to end off now with this beautiful piece of poetry from Poetry for the Spirit, edited by Alan Jacobs, who's one of the most wonderful gentlemen I've ever met. He lives in London, and I've done plenty of shows with him on Celestial Radio before now. But I'd like to share something with you. Octavio Paz, this is a poem, and basically what we're going to share with you is called Certainty, and how certain do we feel in the world that we live in. And if the white light of this lamp is real, and real, the hand that writes, are the eyes real? that look at what I write. One word follows, what I saw vanishes. I know that I am alive and living between two parentheses. So thank you to Alan Jacobs for his greatest anthology of spiritual poetry from this wonderful book, Poetry for the Spirit. And I will be back with more messages for you here on Parveen Smith Celestial every day. Thank you.